Hi, everyone. One of the things you would often hear as a pregnant, expectant mother or a new mother is that you should sleep when your child is sleeping. Try and catch as much rest as you can when the child is sleeping. The challenge, however, is when the child has refused to sleep and the child is being fussy. What do you do? Welcome to Cradles and Cuddles. My name is Yemi Osinaike. I'm a consultant pediatrician, and I'm also the campus pastor at the Covenant Nation Ikeja campus that we fondly call the House of Transformation. At Cradles and Cuddles, we speak to new mothers, returning and experienced mothers, speaking to them about their journey through motherhood, highlighting some of the myths, some of the realities, and some of the challenges, looking at it practically from their experiences, but also looking at it from the lenses of God's word and coming at it also from the expert opinion of trained pediatricians like me. And today I have someone that I am so excited to finally be able to grab into the studio. She likes to work at the back end. Today we are bringing her from the back end to the front end so that we can see, put a face to her name as well. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. She's a returning mother, as I call them.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha Tolaremaju, and I'm a brands and communications manager, and I'm excited to be here.
So let's start from the point of the myths about children being fussy or resting. I'm sure this 3 times now, but the experience has obviously come to bear. But tell us a little bit, what are some of the notions people have when they get pregnant about how calm or how irritable the child would be? What are some of the things that they say to them?
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I'm a third-time mother now, so this is my third baby, and for the first two ones, I felt like it was like a long time for me, the break after my second son, and then for me having my daughter now.
So it's almost like a first timer again.
Exactly. So I had to relearn a lot of things and even unlearn. Part of the unlearning is part of the sleeping thing or the crying thing where you say, oh, when the baby is asleep, just put the baby down. Don't let the baby get so attached to you. But then during this period, I learned differently that actually the baby needs you. That's why there's something called comfort. The baby needs to be comforted by you, and there's that attachment there. So it's not a bad thing if you actually have to, carry your baby, comfort your baby even when he or she is crying, right? And the notion of sleep when the baby is sleeping, that's not. If I even sometimes, because I'm even checking, is she sleeping well? Did that head turn? So how will I even sleep through that? So I would only sleep maybe when I have some help or when I feel like, okay, now the baby has entered into a stage where I feel like she's now sleeping in a very deep manner. Okay, so maybe I can then sleep. But some sleeps that when you turn, baby turns, you just have to just ensure that the baby is fine. So yeah, I think it's not always, what people are saying. It's really what works for you and your baby, and also ensuring that you are not, trying to allow what others have experienced be your own experience, because every pregnancy is different, every baby is
I
different.
like that. Every pregnancy, even in the same person,
Yes.
is different, and gradually learn what works for you and the baby, and find some way to sync the rhythms of these two different and sometimes conflicting worlds. But we can find a merger. Let's talk a little bit about the crying. And when a child starts to cry, particularly for the new mothers, it throws them off balance. Sometimes they almost don't know what to do and everything. What are some of the practical causes that can make a child cry excessively? All babies will cry. In fact, if they don't cry at birth, from my point as a pediatrician, it worries me.
Yeah.
But we are worried about when the child then starts to cry excessively. What are some of the, if a child starts to cry, if you're a new mother, young mother, look at 1, 2, 3 that are common causes. What are some of those from your experience?
Okay, thank you. So practically, one is food, right? For me, it's okay. Has she eating?
So that's the first.
So that's first one, food. Second one is a diaper. because it could be that maybe it's soiled or she pooed, or you would have to check that. And then the third one, perhaps the environment, perhaps she's too hot or maybe it's too cold. So one thing is, oh, has she eaten? Yes. Is her diaper okay? Yes. Maybe I want to carry her away from where she is lying down, just to kind of like soothe her a bit, move away, or maybe even just look at her head. Oh, she's sweating. Do you want to change her clothing? Add a layer to it. So those are the three things I look out for.
So we talked about the food. So check the last time, check the diaper,
Yeah.
and then check the environment of the child. And let me also add, as a pediatrician, sometimes you could have what we refer to as colic, where very early on, for some children, it's early from about second or third month. People believe due to the trapping of gas in the stomach, and that gas irritates the diaphragm, and then they just have this colicky pain that comes in spasm. Child is crying, pulling up the legs, and it's those kind of cries that they will cry, and the neighbors are wondering, are you
Very
a
disturbing.
terrible mother? And all those kind of ear splitting cry. So
Yeah.
colic can also happen with these children as well. In addition to what and sometimes as well, you want to also check, is the child running a fever? That children can't speak, and so their cry sometimes is the way of communicating. Check the body. In addition to, is child sweating or not? Is the child having a fever? In this environment, we tend to overwrap the baby. So you are told, don't expose them to too much, because so they wrap them like Jesus in the manger, wrap and wrap and wrap. And the environment is relatively very quite humid, and the child can be running a fever under those wrappings as well. And just trying to take off the extra clothing can actually bring a lot of relief. Electricity can be an issue where you have the means to be able to put the child in a cool space. Just doing that sometimes also helps the child. And there are times when there is nothing wrong with your baby, and as Aisha said earlier on, just the comfort, and there's nothing wrong. Don't let anybody guilt trip you. There's nothing wrong with the child wanting that extra comfort, and it's a bonding process for you and for the child. And if you've done all of this and the child is still fussy, the child is still irritable, they may need to come in for a professional check. Sometimes they have little things stuck in the air. There may be an infection there, or in the bladder. We may need to check out all of those things. But it's a step that you must go through sequentially. And sometimes the starting point is being calm yourself.
Yes.
Being
Exactly.
calm. Just be calm and everything. Let's talk to me about. Do you think babies hear soothing words when they get fussy, and you carry them and you start to speak to them?
Yes, I believe so. Also, just because, and one thing that I saw recently was that pregnant women should actually, practice talking to their baby in their womb. Although I didn't do so much of that. I wish I did, but what I noticed is that even just her hearing me, maybe when she's crying, and I just come around and I just say something, she kind of like just, kind of with the tones, or you have that feeling that, oh, she knows that you're there. So I think words matter a lot, even before you put to bed.
Words matter. So, and interestingly, it is documented that about 20 weeks of pregnancy, the babies begin to hear, so you can start to speak to them. And one thing we've tried to establish in this entire journey is that pregnancy, motherhood, and nursing a child is a battle of words. You're speaking the words. You are speaking the words to your baby. Baby is listening to you. And then number of scriptures you can use. And some of the scriptures you use for yourself as an adult, you can use for your child also. Psalm 23, verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You can speak over a baby, the Lord is your shepherd, wanting for nothing. He makes me lie down in green pasture. The Lord makes you lie down in peace. The scripture says in Psalm 65, I think verse 3 and 4, that trust in the Lord, oh my soul, He is your help. Say to your child, the Lord is your help. There are scriptures you can say over and over. It will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on him. Say to your baby, the Lord keeps you in perfect peace. Children hear these words. And as much as possible, say these words to them. And if you need professional counsel, as I said, reach out and speak to one who is versed and knowledgeable in this business. Let me take one last thought that some mothers have also discussed and are worried about. What the mother eats also can be responsible for causing this fussiness and this colicky. Did you have that kind of experience that on days when you eat certain things, baby is fussy, and do you think that work? That's a given.
Yes, actually, yes. I had a similar experience, and also it was also me making sure that what I experience is real. So a thing of testing, maybe I ate something now and then I feel like she's maybe having some form of discomfort. She's pooing in a certain way, and the frequency of the poo. So for me, I think it was with beans. So I had that, and I noticed that I shouldn't take so much of that because of her, because it affected her a bit as at that time. So yes, it matters a lot, and I think also it also depends on the mother's system as well. Maybe they could be, I mean, okay with eating beans, while some might be just be maybe too much milk might affect the old gassiness and all of that. Yes, so I think it affects, it
So,
matters.
so while there may not be concrete evidence, so this is like what we refer to as anecdotal. In other words, it's been seen practically, and these are some of the things you want to watch out for as well. Let me take you on one last thought before I let you go. You talked about particularly for mothers that have had a bit of gap between one child and the other, either planned or unplanned. It comes with a bit of mental. What is the one thing you had to mentally readjust to when you found out that, oh man, we're on this journey again?
I mean, I shouldn't rely on past knowledge. Because for me, there were so many things that I had to unlearn. And I had to just take it one step at a time. For me, because it was a lot. The first few weeks, it was like, what's my life going to look like now? It was a lot. And for me, it was just ensuring that I mean, there was this particular Bible verse that helped me, which was that passage that talks about, God not leaving us without help. Says, I will not leave you without help. I mean, that was what I needed at that point. And for me, I have to just remind myself, God says He will not leave me without help. I have help. I have help. So I have to just lean into that and pray to God to open my eyes to see what that help means at certain points in time, because it might be different. Help
Correct.
might be somebody helping you out literally. Help might be maybe
Absolutely.
a particular website that you have to actually go to read about something and then have like clarity regarding a topic. So just being open-minded and asking God, okay, the help that you have for me at this point in time, please open my eyes to see it. So yeah, that
I
really
mean,
helped me.
that's a new one. I mean, that you would not be without help. So what that help is, in practical sense, God needs to show you that help. And I like what you said. You need to unlearn. And I think that's the problem sometimes. People are, particularly people who think they're experienced mothers, and that you've done it twice doesn't mean you did it right
Yeah.
the first two times. Be open to unlearning some things, relearn some things, and prayerfully lean into the grace of God. I considered something, and it was quite interesting, and I just saw it for myself as well, about the cries of children. And I want you to not get angry when your child cries. Apart from being the primary means of communicating at that stage as well, God hears children when they cry. If you read the story about when Agai was in the desert, and the Bible said the Lord heard the cry of the lad. It wasn't even the mother's prayers. It was the cry of the baby that the Lord heard. And then the Lord told the mother to turn and see the well. And so when your children are fussy, when they are crying, their intense communication they are making to God as well. And how you interpret the moment properly can be of help. But we've highlighted to you in summary that when the child is crying more than usual, there are basic things you should look at. As the child fed? Is the child full? Check the diaper. Is the diaper wet? Diaper soaked? It can even be irritation to the particular diaper. You want to also check the environment. Is the child comfortable? And as you do all of this, you can also prayerfully be speaking to your child. God keeps you in perfect peace. Your mind is at rest. The peace of God is with you. And as you combine this with the knowledge that you have from the experience of the rich community you surrounded yourself with, we believe something will break forth. And if you need to seek professional help, do not hesitate, and don't let anybody make you feel guilty and guilt trip you about this. God would not leave you without help. And as Aisha said, what that help translates to in practical sense, you must find it and you must utilize that help. Thank you once again on this edition of Cradles and Cuddles. We hope that we've been able to help clarify some doubts in your mind. And remember what I always said, that God has absolute confidence in you as a mother to take care of the heritage that He has put in your care, whether you're a first-time mom, an old mom, an experienced mom, a returning mom. God has absolute confidence in you, and you will do well, and God is cheering you on. We are cheering you on at the Covenant Nation Ikeja campus as well. See you next time on the next episode. God bless you.